Every summer, millions of families load up the cooler, head to the cookout, and watch the fireworks. And for a lot of parents, that sounds wonderful. But if you got a child that covers their ears the second that the fireworks start, that spiral after eating poolside snacks, or who's completely different kid for days after the 4th of July, this holiday probably isn't the highlight of your summer. It's something that you quietly dread along the way. And this is what I want you to know right now. Your child's meltdown actually isn't a behavior problem. It's not about being spoiled, and it's not about your parenting. It is a nervous system problem, and the research finally tells us exactly why it happens and what we can actually do about it. So we see it every single summer. A parent comes in after the 4th of July and says some version of the same thing. We had a great morning, and then it all fell apart. Popsicles, sports drinks at the cookout, fireworks at 9, and within minutes, their child screaming, inconsolable, and completely unreachable, with their disrupted sleep, elevated behaviors lasting for days. But this is what surprises most families when we explain it, because nothing actually went wrong in why or the way that they're thinking. A landmark Lancet randomized control trial found that artificial food colors significantly increased hyperactivity in children across all age groups, prompting the EU to require warning labels and the FDA to take additional action on red dye number 40 in 2025. And California's own health assessment confirmed that these dyes can cross the blood-brain barrier in developing children. So that red popsicle at noon wasn't just sugar, it was chemical priming the nervous system for overload hours before the fireworks even got started. All right, so let's talk about it. What is red dye number 40? And what does it actually do to our kids? Red dye number 40 is the most widely used artificial food coloring in the US, and it's at every 4th of July party. Popsicles, sports drinks, candy, ketchup, fruit snacks, flavored yogurt. And that landmark Lancet randomized control trial found that artificial food colors significantly increased the hyperactivity in children across age groups, not just in kids with ADHD or autism. But this actually prompted the EU to require warning labels. In a 2021 review confirmed artificial food colors can cross blood-brain barrier and actually directly affect neural signaling in children whose nervous systems are still developing. So red dye number 40 doesn't just cause hyperactivity, it triggers neural inflammation and it disrupts neurotransmitter function and causes intestinal permeability, which is what's called leaky gut. So roughly 80% of the vagus nerve fibers carry information from the gut to the brain. So when red dye number 40 disrupts gut function, it directly disrupts nervous system regulation. So it's not just a food issue, it's a neurological one. But let's talk about why the fireworks and sensory overload trigger the meltdown. So we can think about the nervous system, primarily our autonomic nervous system, like the air traffic controller. So in a well-regulated system, sensory input flows up smoothly. The brain filters what matters, dampens what doesn't. A 4th of July celebration is a full-on sensory assault. Fireworks at 150 plus decibels, fire engine sirens, crowds, flashing lights, smoke, heat, disrupted sleep schedule, all of that at once. And when the nervous system is already dysregulated and the gas pedal is floored and our brake pedal is barely working, that input creates a massive neurological traffic jam. And the child melts down. They try to escape or they shut down completely. So, common signs of this sensory overload include covering their ears at fireworks, refusing to eat, aggression or clinginess in crowds, the emotional breakdown during or after the event, and then sleep disruption for days afterward. You see, the meltdown isn't about the fireworks, it's about a nervous system that's already overwhelmed before the family even left the house. The fireworks were just that final straw. And this is the reason as to why some kids react and others don't. Because two kids eat the popsicles, right? One's fine, the other starts to spiral. Two kids watch the same fireworks. One loves it, the other one breaks down. So the difference isn't willpower or even in your parenting, it's the nervous system. So we call this the perfect storm. Prenatal stress, birth trauma, and early childhood stressors that accumulate and disrupt neurological development from the very beginning of life. Each layer, difficult delivery, early antibiotic use, chronic ear infections, colic, reflux, this creates stress and subluxation, the neurological interference that disrupts the function, the regulation, and the adaptability of the nervous system. You see, subluxation leads to dysautonomia, and an imbalance between the sympathetic gas pedal and our parasympathetic brake pedal leaves the child without the neurological reserves to handle what other kids handle easy. And management strategies can only go so far. If the nervous system has a hole in it, you can bail water all day and you're still going to be sinking. The real work happens at the foundation. And this is what we call the double assault. It's when the chemical and the sensory hits at the same time. Red dye number 40 loaded popsicles at noon, fireworks at 150 decibels at 9 p.m., crowds and sirens in between, and a child who walked into that party already running on a nervous system deficit. This is the double assault. Artificial dyes attack the chemical side, disrupting the gut, triggering inflammation, compromising the gut brain axis, and then sensorial overload attacks from the neurological side, flooding the brainstem with input, and a dysregulated nervous system cannot process it. Both hit the same target, the autonomic nervous system and the vagus nerve. And when they hit simultaneously, the combined effect is far greater than either one alone. And this is why so many parents say that their child's a completely different person for days after the 4th of July. The nervous system is in a prolonged recovery state, not just a single bad night. So this is the path forward. We have to restore nervous system regulation. So short-term strategies matter, right? Reading labels, avoiding red number 40, yellow number 5, yellow number 6, bringing noise canceling headphones, having a quiet exit plan, protecting sleep like your life depends on it. But those only manage the load, they don't fix the foundation. So this is where the insight scanning technology changes the conversation. Using HRV, surface EMG, and thermal scans, a neurologically focused chiropractor gets the objective, measurable picture of how the nervous system is actually functioning. You see, the insight scans identify exactly where the nervous system is stuck in that sympathetic overdrive, where the vagus nerve function is impaired, and where stress and subluxation patterns are creating interference. Now, neurologically focused chiropractic care is not a cure for these conditions. What it does is it works to restore the underlying regulation that affects how children process the environment. And when the brake pedal begins working alongside that gas pedal, parents consistently see the changes that go far beyond surviving a holiday. You see, we're not just helping kids cope with a dysregulated nervous system, we're working to regulate the nervous system itself. And when that foundation shifts, sleep, digestion, transitions, and sensory tolerance all shift with it. So, if this is connecting the dots that you've been trying to piece together for months or even years, I want you to know your child is not too sensitive. The nervous system is telling you exactly what it needs, and there is a path forward. And it starts by getting an objective look at how the nervous system is actually functioning. So, check the link with our bio, send our office a DM, or schedule directly a Haven Family Chiropractic right here in Katy, Texas. Now, this 4th of July, your family deserves more than survival mode. They deserve answers and a way forward.